Coming up on today's Laker News, we head downtown to see how swing dancing is helping people heal.
Plus, how students are speaking up about banned books, and
a special interview with one of Grand Rapids' rising social media stars, because Laker News is hoisting the sails.
Happy Friday, Lakers. I'm Caitlin Rose Birchmeyer.
And I'm Drew Burlingame. Downtown's been moving to a different kind of beat lately. Not the usual nightlife, but swing dancing. And GVSU students are finding it a great way to relieve stress. Laker News reporter Hannah Kempf caught up with students using this new form of relaxation.
Hey Lakers, bored on a Tuesday night and don't know what to do? Then swing dancing downtown might be your solution. Now that it's their winter season, this group meets at the Grand Rapids Public Museum from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. However, the clips you're watching right now are from their summer season, which is held at Rosa Park Circle. It's fully donation-based, so you don't have to pay anything, but everything helps. At the beginning of the night, they start off with a lesson, and then they let you figure it out as you go. It's a welcoming community for people of all ages and backgrounds. So, will we see you there, Lakers?
Thanks, Hannah. You can check out the group every Tuesday night at Grand Rapids Public Museum.
In other news, during this time of political uncertainty, banned books are making headlines and flying off bookstore shelves. Chloe Avila shows us how national controversy is sparking local interest here in Grand Rapids.
Book bans are happening across the country, and the controversy is fueling people's curiosity. Major booksellers like Barnes & Noble say the surge in interest isn't just noticeable, it's reshaping how they organize their shelves. The store manager at the new Barnes & Noble in Knapp Crossing, Megan Bromley, speaks on this.
I want to say it really started in about 2016, and then another resurgence in 2020, towards the end of 2024. Definitely we are selling a lot of books that are banned, to the point where we have pulled a lot of those together for displays because they're what people are coming and looking for.
But it's not just about demand. Books once considered essential reading are now being removed from classrooms, and booksellers are raising concerns.
A lot of them just cover kind of controversial issues or social issues that maybe aren't comfortable to talk about sometimes, but that's why they're important to read.
From classics like To Kill a Mockingbird to contemporary titles tackling race, gender, and identity, books are being challenged and banned at rising rates nationwide. But here at Books and Mortar, booksellers say
these books really are great examples of how to approach something that is hard to talk about, is hard to process, and that's one of the great things that books can do, is like give us a space to kind of go through that. I absolutely think it's worth reading banned books for that reason alone, just to see how people have been navigating these waters before us.
That was Maggie Johnson, the manager at Books and Mortar, a proudly progressive independent bookstore located here in Grand Rapids. She says that as more titles get placed under review, the effects are starting to show.
Looking like generally across the country, I would say about a quarter of our inventory is banned or challenged, at least in somewhere in the U.S.
Using data collected from 2022 to 2023 by PEN America, an organization trying to protect freedom of speech, the red tags in the store show which books have been banned.
A lot of the books that we have on display, like Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian or Perks of Being a Wallflower, are books that have been out for a few years but are recently being banned in Michigan schools.
As the debate over banned books heats up, many in the literary world are pushing back, defending the right to read and the freedom of expression. In Grand Rapids, I'm Chloe Avila.
And finally, with inclement weather beginning, Laker News reporter Nuha Hassan sat down with a reporter who's been making the rounds using social media as a format to spread weather information.
I'm Blake Harms. I'm a meteorologist at Wood TV, and I am also school closing predictions expert, I guess you could say, at the station as well. So I'm from West Michigan, grew up in Hudsonville, was in the same house basically my whole childhood. Seeing water spouts out at Grand Haven, so tornadoes on the water, when I was in elementary school was really fascinating. And that was when I realized that weather was something I enjoyed. Getting to see all the lake effect snow that we get. It was just a combination of different kinds of weather events that really fascinated me, made me want to learn more about it. My freshman year, the winter of 2013-14 was really busy. It was our second snowiest winter on record. I started putting the predictions on Twitter and Instagram especially. Still in high school when I started doing it for all of West Michigan. And when I was in college, I interned here. And after my internship, they asked if I wanted to do it for them on a freelance basis. So I was contracted out by them to put the predictions on their website. So my senior year, they had me cover the Christmas night shift to give the team a break. So that was my first time on air. I do remember feeling very nervous for that. And I had my Fitbit on. I remember my heart was racing, like BPM of 120, 130, just standing there. It's gotten much better since, but I was very nervous, yeah. So typically I'll come in, I'll put my forecast together, kind of go through all the forecast numbers and what things look like for the next week, including what kind of weather we're expecting, temperatures, all that stuff. And then we create the rest of our graphics for a hit there. Obviously, most people are familiar with, this is where we do a lot of our forecast from just because it's the cleanest presentation. We have obviously the two screens that you can point to, and we have a clock that will count down to 0 that tells us when to stop talking. And then we have a monitor that actually reflects off the camera. So when we're looking at the camera, we're actually just looking at the weather graphics that we're showing on TV. And we still have some pretty decent snowfall rates from time to time over toward the Zeeland area, Port Sheldon Township, up on the south side of Grand Haven. Elsewhere, really not much going on. Typically, we'll do most of our work in there, but our anchors will be here at the desk, and sometimes we'll communicate with them and they'll have us come over here. But this is where all of our newscasts are done. We have newscasts all day long from 4:30 in the morning to 11 o'clock at night. A total of, I think, 7.5 hours of news that we produce in this room every day. This is our control room. So this is where our producers and directors will sit and put together all of our newscasts. It's one of our directors, Gabe. They have all these screens to choose from, including some of our camera sources, our graphic sources. There's a way for us to change all the graphics in the studio at one time. So if all of a sudden we have a blizzard coming in, they just have to press, I'm doing it right?
I'm more as well watch.
We just have to press a button and it turns all the graphics in the studio to a different color. Or if breaking news happens, everything turns red. It's really fun. I don't think they like me touching this, but sorry, Gabe. Just seeing the amount of feedback that I get from the kids on Instagram is really fun. Seeing their comment. Now, granted, not all the comments are good. I am not here to condone them, but people are really funny, and it's just fun to interact with people that way. Like I said, on TV, we don't get a lot of feedback. I get far less feedback from doing TV than I do from the predictions, or interaction maybe is a better term, than when I do the predictions. And I get to talk with people who are asking about their specific school, the live streams especially. I try not to take myself too seriously, understand that I've been gifted a platform that I get to have fun doing. And obviously there's a pressure for me to want to get it right, but I think those who know me, work with me and know me well, know that I tend to not take things too seriously most of the time. And so even though I have to be kind of strictly business on TV especially, and sometimes with the school closing stuff, I try not to take myself too seriously most of the time. Had no clue it would be what it's become. And it is flattering in many ways. I just thought it would always be a Hudsonville thing or a Hudsonville-Jemison thing. And to now have it be all of West Michigan, I have people asking me from all parts of the area. It has been truly flattering, and it's the power of social media. That's what's really surprised me, is just how much word of mouth can spread with something like that.
Thanks, Nuha. Check out Blake over on his Instagram, WXBlakeHarms.
2, 1.
That's all for this edition of Laker News.
We'll be back in 2 weeks for more. But until then, make sure to subscribe to GVTV and check out our other socials over at Instagram and TikTok.
We'll see you when Laker News returns. Have a great week, Lakers.